Greetings and welcome to a little fun video where we are going to be discussing the possible operators for 1.1. There are currently 6 possible characters that we've seen within the game itself, which could be the upcoming operators. So we're going to be discussing them, and then we're going to be discussing a little bit of reconveners and see who could possibly be the next one. So anyway, we are going to be starting with everybody's favorite little sister, Rossi. Now, I give her a 40% or less chance of being in 1.1. That's because her story is currently not even being developed. They show up to help us out before going after the Triagaloid near the original Load Spring, and then they help us out along with everybody else before going to face the final boss in Valley 4. Other than that, we really don't know anything about her. We know she is very prideful in that she takes pride in being part of the pack Mafia-ish family, that she believes herself to be the right hand of the Dawn, and I don't remember her name, but anyway, she is the sister to Wolfguard. Now, Wolfguard, during his mini event, introduced us to the conflict between his pack and the new pack, which is a terrible name, honestly. But because we haven't seen any of that here in Wuling, I don't think we're going to get her as an operator. It just doesn't really make sense story-wise. So I'm going to push her all the way up to 1.2. The next 2 operators are obviously quite basically called out in the next patch, and those are Tang Tang and Mifu. But in what order? Now, I believe we are going to get Mifu first, and then we're going to get Tang Tang later as the middle or the final operator of 1.1. And that's because I think the story is going to follow the following beat. Right now, if we can exit this here. Right now, we just finished helping out set up everything within Wuling. We have the ASE factory, but there's this little pathway here. It is completely blocked off by guards, and you cannot access it. But this leads to what is called the exclusion zone, which is probably this area right here. It looks to be a pretty big area. Now, what I think is going to happen is we are going to help Mifu deal with the stuff here. It's probably some type of monster Agaloy is causing trouble, and they're going to draw our attention here, and meanwhile, the real villains are going to invade the Origin Spring over here. That is what I believe is going to happen. And that would mean we get Mifu as the first character of the patch, and then Tang Tang as the second character, and then probably a Reconvener as part of the third, as the third character, which would make a little bit of sense to me, at least. And that would still leave, I believe, a minor area left to explore for Wuling, something similar to the mine in Valley 4. So that would be the first 2 characters that I would give probably a 70% or more chance of being in the patch. Now, what about Zhuang Fangyi? I don't think we're going to get her on 1.1, and the reason is as follows. Her presentation within the beta and within the story matches very closely to the beats that Miyabi in Zenless Zone Zero also had. She is very important in the story. She is the leader of her own faction. She saves the player characters from being attacked from basically something big. Well, in Miyabi's case, she chases it away. In our case, she fires at a bunch of mini Agaloy. But anyway, you get the idea. So I think Zhuang Fangyi is going to be the 6-month anniversary unit. It makes a lot of sense. Everybody wants her. She is very strong lore-wise, and she'll probably be given a very big kit. She'll probably have a similar ultimate to Levitain, where she goes basically her Super Saiyan mode, and lets you surround the entire battlefield in electricity. So it makes sense to save her for the 6-month anniversary. So I gave her 20% or less chance of being in 1.1. But there are 2 more characters currently that we've seen in the game that might become playable operators in 1.1, and those are Lycia and M3. Now, both of these are basically Hail Marys. I don't think we're going to be getting either of them for a very long time. First is Lycia. We have no idea about her story. We don't know what promise the administrator made to her before he was defeated in the first Agaloy War and was forced to rest inside the Originium. She went on her own way, and she's basically very similar to what Chen did within the original Arcanite story, where she's going on her own. So until we catch up with her and we basically figure out what her story is, I don't think we're going to get her. And M3 is even worse. M3 was described to us by Perlica as an Enfield elite operator. Now, the meaning of elite operator within the world of Arcanites is very specific. We are talking about basically people that have abilities far beyond the normal, not in terms of power, but in terms of what they can do. As an example, here in this little image I'm showing you, there, I believe, 5 or 6 operators within the original Arknights classified as Rhode Island's elite operators. The first one that we got near the beginning of the game is Blaze. And if you've seen the anime, you know how crazy strong physically she is. She can jump off of a flying helicopter, land on her feet, and nothing happens. She can basically spread her blood over the battlefield and ignite it into fireballs, which is pretty crazy. She now also has complete control over Fire Originium Arts, which makes her really strong. And that's not even getting to the other 4 operators that aren't playable in the original Arknights yet, and all of them are extremely powerful and very mysterious. So following this, M3 is going to be just as strong and mysterious as these elite operators from the past. We also don't know anything about her. I have a sneaking suspicion that she is the head of human resources at Enfield, because M3 matches with the triple name of the head of human resources that we see in some of the operator records. Here, as we can see here in Li Feng's profile, Martin Marvin Maylene, aka M3, Assistant HR Division, Enfield Industries. I believe this is M3, the one who is writing these. So anyway, M3, way far off. Lycia, way far off. So I think what is most likely going to happen, if we are going to start with Mifu and Tang Tan, and then for the final operator, we're going to get a new reconvener. Who, because they're from the original Arknights, it could be any operator that had Ripathy, which is quite a significant amount of them. So who would I like to be? Well, I would definitely like to see Blaze. That would be pretty cool. But she is basically an elite operator and very strong, so I'm not sure if that would be pertinent. But I'd like to see the original, I believe they are called Backup Team A4? No, I meant Reserve Ops Team 1. I would definitely like to see them. All 5 of them have a Ripathy, and within them, the original Arknights, Lava and Cruz grew up quite well, and Hibiscus is kind of okay. Lefang definitely grew up nicely, and unfortunately Beagle was wounded in a mission, and she switched to being part of the manufacturing team. But yeah, I'd like to see them as part of the game to help them bring them up to proper Arknights level. But yeah, that is what I think will be within the 1.1 banners. Nothing particularly surprising. We'll see if they drop any hints within the drip marketing. But other than that, I think we're in for a pretty standard patch. After that, I will be month 6, so I believe in 1.2 we will be getting Zhongfang Yi. That is a completely wild guess. But anyway, that is my prediction. If you have your prediction on your own, or you want to see an old Arknights operator within the game, let me know in the comments. I do read them, by the way. And we will be seeing you next time.